Hey guys, my name is Matthew Spazzetti here with New Millennium Wealth, and welcome back for another episode of my weekly market analysis. This week we unfortunately didn't really have a lot of opportunity that I found. Most of it we're still just kind of sitting on our hands and waiting for the right opportunity to come our way, and we just haven't really had it yet. Hopefully next week we'll have a lot more opportunities. But before we get into all that, if you haven't checked out the website yet, go check it out at newmillenniumwealth.com, hit the Get Started button, sign up for the newsletter, and ultimately just be one of the first ones to get notified of any kind of information I'm pumping out, any kind of articles, YouTube videos, any kind of articles that I find interesting, that I'm reading about the economy, that I'm reading about the stock market, any of the sort, guys. Be the first to get notified and get signed up. Also, there's a whole wealth of information on here, and I'm posting stuff on here all the time. I got stuff on how to pay your mortgage off early. I got personal finances. If you come up to the blog page here, the drop-down menu, it'll show you some articles on economics, entrepreneurship, investing, personal finances, and trading, and episodes. The videos would take you straight to the YouTube channel, and then the podcast coming soon. Well, yeah, it's coming soon. All right. That being said, let's go ahead and jump into the euro pound. So this is the only trade that I really had going on this week. This blue line right here represents structure that was created back in 2017 right here, that we finally came up here and broke above, which was absolutely wonderful. This is a bullish sign, right? If we break above very major structure, we only ever slightly got above it, but hey, it doesn't matter. We got above it. So this is a pretty strong indicator that we are still bullish. The only problem that I have is I'm not sure. Like, I ended up measuring my fib retracement level from here. Let's go back down to the hourly chart. I measured my fib retracement level like so, from swing low to swing high. Okay. Right up here, and that's how I did it. And on the hourly chart, you can see that this is definitely appears to be the most significant, retracement that we had in this bullish trend. By the way, the market has been in a bullish trend, I believe, since 2015. Let's go ahead and shrink the chart up. Yeah, July 13th of 2015. So we've been in a bullish trend for quite some time. And I'm sorry, let's go ahead and go back here. As you can see, we're kind of creating this base. We're basically just kind of chopping sideways. Yes, we made it a new high here and here, but we don't have the momentum that we have seen in the past. So either two things this could mean. We're creating a base, and then the market's going to rally from here and make new highs that the euro pound has never seen. That could absolutely be the case, with the pound depreciating against the euro, the dollar, and the yen, and a lot of other currencies due to the Brexit concerns. In reality, with that going on, it's a possibility that there's fundamental data that would support the very idea of the euro rallying and being bullish. So that could very well happen. The only other thing is that this could be a loss of momentum as well, and that the market could continue to head lower. Now, again, considering the fundamentals of the whole Brexit debacle and everything, I don't necessarily think that this is going to be bullish. Because of all that information, I don't really take fundamental analysis into my consideration when I'm taking trades. I only use technical analysis, but I will say that it does kind of give me a bit of a bias. I mean, not only that, but really the technical analysis is what gives me more bias than anything else. As you can see here, we created a base right here for quite some time. When we go all the way back to the early 2000s, we were bullish from 2000 to 2003, and then we created a base from 2003, I want to say, 2003, all the way until probably up until right here, 2007. And we didn't know that was the end of this consolidation, but we eventually did rally from there. And we went off to the races, as you can clearly see. So I do think that that's what this is. And I think we're bullish, and it's not simply strictly because of the fundamentals. Like I said, I don't consider that in my trading, but I do think that just looking at the charts long term, we look like we're bullish. So, but the question here is the market going to respect this low right here the lows of 88.96. Is the market going to respect those lows, or is the market going to respect this low all the way down here at 84.89.4? So I don't really know what's going to happen. Honestly, we're already under my entry point, so there is a very, very good chance that this is just going to continue to fall. But, like everything, and like I say in all my postings, we're just going to have to wait and see. In reality, nobody really knows what's going to happen, so it's just something that we're just going to have to continue to watch and keep an eye on. All right, so let's go back here. So since we don't really have a lot of other currency pairs that were really showing any signs of hitting my entry or being close enough for me to even bother watching them this week, a lot of them just they weren't even close to be hitting my entry point. There were a few options here and there, but not many. So far, nothing has hit it. It's unfortunate, but like I always say, that's just kind of the way it happens. I also kind of picked longer entries because I didn't really want to get stopped out on these tiny little retracements like what happened here. I didn't really want to get stopped out for that. So, what I would do here is I probably would measure a fib retracement level from here, or a fib retracement tool from here to here, swing high to swing low, or possibly from here to here, and I'd wait for a 618 retracement up here, because this is very clearly showing that it didn't respect this level, it didn't respect this, it violated both of those resistance levels. And it's probably going to come somewhere up in here, or at least there's a chance that it might. And if that does happen, then we might have a 618 trading opportunity there. But unfortunately, on the pound dollar, we got stopped out. On the pound CAD, we got stopped out as well, which unfortunately ended up destroying some of my nice returns that I had. I was not happy about that. As you guys know, I am calculating the returns on each one of these trades. I'm filling it out on an Excel spreadsheet, treating it as if it was a legitimate trade, and I'm actually monitoring the actual trading performance. So far, we have been in the negatives. We had 2 wins and 2 losses from the last couple of weeks, and unfortunately, it kind of landed us back into slightly unprofitable territory. But even though we were unprofitable, we're still higher than what we were before. So there is a chance that we might come out of this. We are also in just a very high consolidatory market environment, I guess you could say. There's just a lot of uncertainty and volatility out there due to interest rates, due to recessions, trade wars, Brexit. There's a lot of different things going on that is making the markets very, very volatile and very unpredictable. It certainly is not an excuse to not go off and trade. I don't mean to go off and say that, but it's something to keep in mind. So here we have the pound CAD. We kind of broke above this level, and we are heading towards this wall. The only reason I haven't retaken another trade is because I really don't know if this is going to stop here or if it's going to continue higher. So, I mean, I honestly, I really have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, yeah, if there's any Brexit news or information, then I absolutely would think that the pound would depreciate against most, if not all, the currency pairs it goes up against. So, I don't know, but we'd have to see. But, yeah, so we got stopped out there. On the dollar CAD, we ended up making money, I believe. Yep, right here. We ended up coming up. So, we actually found this trade late, and the market had already hit the entry once, twice, 3 times. So I got in around here, and I had to wait for a 4th opportunity for the market. Actually, no, the 5th. I think it was a 5th opportunity. I think I had come in when the market was, oh no, I'm sorry. I put my entry point here and everything when it happened. So I had to wait for the 4th opportunity in order to get long. But once I got long, we had this big long candlestick, got rejected from this support level right here, bounced off the support level, and then rallied and ended up hitting the target. Now the market is kind of just going sideways. We never did make a new high here, so we're not really looking for a retracement opportunity after a new high was created because, well, we didn't create a new high. But if we do eventually create a new high, which it is kind of looking like we will, if you were to look at this chart, let's see, let's go to an actual chart here. It's a dollar CAD. Okay. because we already here, let's remove all the drawing tools. All right, so if you actually notice here, we do have what appears to be an ascending triangle, or at least what looks like an ascending triangle to my eyes. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, this is an ascending triangle. Let's just look at this. Yeah, look at that, guys. So nice. I mean, honestly, you probably don't have to include this area, but you could certainly include this. You see, as we definitely have an ascending triangle here where we are bouncing off the exact same resistance level, 133.41.3, and then we're kind of coming down and we're just bouncing off this support level, constantly going higher and higher and higher. This is a great indication that we more than likely will break out higher. Now, I don't know how consistent these kind of patterns are because I've never tested them out before, but I do know that they can be very profitable if you like to trade wedge patterns, or ascending triangles or descending triangles or things of that nature, or structured consolidation. Basically these are very, very, very fun trading patterns to trade off of from what I've heard, but I've never honestly traded them myself. I've never backtested them, so I really don't know what the performance looks like. But yeah, we have an ascending triangle here. What's really going on here is that the bulls are pushing up and pushing up and pushing up, and you see as we're kind of bouncing off of the support line, we're getting low, we're getting higher and higher and higher. We're not really coming down as much. That is an evidence that the bears are losing momentum. When you talk about it, it almost sounds like a football game, or if you guys are from Europe, more like a soccer game. One team is winning, the other team is losing. Well, actually, if you're from Europe, you wouldn't call it soccer. You would call it football. But either way, it doesn't really matter. They're both sports, right? And the idea is that, one team is winning over the other. So clearly the Bears are losing momentum here. They're just not able to continue to drag this currency pair down, and the bulls are constantly pushing up here. This is normally a sign that the bulls will eventually break out. But that is not a guarantee, but it is something to consider. So that was the dollar CAD. Let's go to the New Zealand yen. This is another one where we ended up making some pretty decent profits off of. Yeah. Oh, wait. No, not the New Zealand yen. I'm sorry. I thought the New Zealand yen actually made money yet. Nope, apparently not. New Zealand CAD. That's the one I was thinking. New Zealand yen we're still waiting on. There it is. Okay, so New Zealand CAD is the next one we ended up making money on. We kind of traded sideways for a while here. Again, just consolidated. It ended up taking a while to finally get down and hit our target, but it eventually did. It's a good thing we were actually watching this, because in the end, we only got one chance to get involved. If we would have totally had missed out if we had not been watching this and on top of it. So, and look, guys, a lot of times when you're trading, it's very easy to form your life around your trading. But this isn't really the best way to handle it. You should have trading form around you. You shouldn't pick a trading strategy or technique that doesn't really mesh well with your life. What you honestly should do is pick a technique or some kind of trading strategy that's going to work out with your life. It's going to flow with your life a lot better. So if you can't be in the charts all the time, swing trading, very much like I do, is very much something that I think that most people should be engaged in, simply because most people don't have the time, or even the desire for that matter, to sit in front of the charts all day long. Swing trading is where you come in the mornings, you trade, you look at your currency pairs, and you're constantly trading, and whenever you think there's another opportunity, throughout the week, you just kind of highlight that opportunity and you wait every single day for those trading opportunities to come around. And so you really need a trading strategy that works with your life, not form your life around your trading strategy. And with that being said, guys, with this kind of stuff, let's go back to the New Zealand CAD. Man, I did it twice already. Goodness gracious. It's been a difficult week. All right, so, when you're looking at here, I actually found this trade a while back, and I did the measurements, and I prepped and prepared so that when it actually came to fruition, when it actually came up here, I was already measuring a fib retracement to see if I could get short. So it was one of those, and that's the case for a lot of these trades. The pound Aussie, this is another one. This is going to be a massive winner if it ends up winning. So far, it looks like it's going to, but it hasn't broken out yet. But this was another one where, to be completely fair with you guys, I mean, I saw the opportunity a while ago. We broke out. We made new highs. So then I measured my fib retracement tool from swing low to swing high, and I had a 618 retracement all the way down here. I put my yellow line there. I put an order on, and then a stop loss on, and yeah, I just waited. And that's what you got to do with this stuff. If you can't sit in front of the charts 24 hours, and let's be honest, who really wants to do that? I certainly wouldn't. That's what you got to do. You got to do the work. You got to come in every morning. You got to look at stuff. Now, I admit I'm not perfect at coming in each and every morning. Okay? I'm just not. I try to as best I can. I wake up every morning, but there are things that happen in life that just kind of prevent you from doing it. And you shouldn't feel guilty about that type of stuff. That's just the way life is. Like I said, sometimes there are just extenuating circumstances that just prevent you from being in front of the charts and from working on your business and things that you actually really want to do with your life. I'm also running another business as well. I mean, this is all a business for me, but there's a lot of content that goes into all this. And unfortunately, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to produce content, whether that's videos, whether that's blogs, it doesn't matter. It takes a while to produce. So it's one of those situations where it's really, really, really difficult to consistently come in every single day and do the work that you need to do in order to progress. Sometimes you just don't. A lot of times what happens is that there's a lot of things that get in the way throughout the week, and then one day I have just this one awesome day where, man, I just knock it out of the park, and I am just hitting the ground running, and I'm getting lots of stuff done. Like a couple days ago, I haven't been able to really sit down and write an article for my blog in a few weeks. But I finally sat down, I finished a blog, and then I wrote a brand new one, and I'm starting on a third one. So, I mean, as you can see, for a while, I wasn't able to write anything, and then all of a sudden, I just wrote stuff. And I was able to just sit down and do it, and now I got like 3 other blogs that I'm about to write. I came up with 2 other ideas that I'm going to be writing as well. And so it's just stuff like that. Sometimes, the workflow is slow, and it gets interrupted by life. And then other times, it continues going forward. And you end up knocking it out of the park, and you have a great day. And that's just, honestly, that's in life. Your life is a constant state of flux. Your life is never, ever stagnant whatsoever. Even if you personally are stagnant in your life itself is not stagnant. You will eventually be moved. Life itself will eventually move you and things of that nature. So just to keep that in mind. Enjoy the flux. Enjoy it. Understand it. Try to enjoy it. Try to deal with it as much. I don't know about you guys, but I struggle with change. I don't really like change a lot. I like it when things are the same over and over and over again. I'm a very habitual person, and I am a creature of habit. That's just the way I am. That's just how I am. And some change here and there is not necessarily a bad thing, or change that I anticipated is not necessarily a bad thing. But, despite that being my personality, change happens all the time. It's difficult for me to be okay with. It's difficult for me to get used to. But it is something that you have to get used to. And particularly when you're talking about trading the markets, the markets are in a constant state of change, constant state of flux. That's just what the markets do. So that's why having a trading plan, an objective trading plan that is based off of subjective rules that you create, but once you create those rules, then it's no longer subjective anymore. Now it's becoming objective, and you don't really have to think about it. If you wanted to lose weight, you would do something very similar. You would find the meals, if you were going to do calorie counting, you would find the meals that work for you, and you would have them pre-calculated out. You would know the restaurants that you could go to. You would have it all down to a plan. You want success. Having a plan is the way to have a success, so that you don't have to decide what you have to do. From the get-go, this is your plan. And that that's going to lead to success if you follow it. Now, there is, of course, the issue of following the plan, too. You have to follow it. But if you're really motivated, that shouldn't be a problem. Now, the problem here is really getting the motivation. And a lot of times, I don't know about you guys, but when I create really big, massive goals that I want to achieve in the future, and then it's very obvious and apparent to me that it's a very slow process and I simply just do not see progress in the way that I want, it can be kind of depressing. It's like I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I just don't see it. It's very hard to be motivated when you feel like you're light years away from where you really want to be. And I'm kind of in that boat right now. Progress is kind of slow. And in reality, you kind of have to just work towards moving forward, regardless of how difficult it is and regardless of the things that get in your way. And maybe you didn't have the best day, maybe you just didn't get as much done as you had hoped. It doesn't really matter. You just have to keep moving forward, guys. Moving forward, even if it's a baby step forward, it's still a successful day. Pick a direction and move in that direction. And even if it's in a small way, it's still something that you need to be good about. I have a mentor that I listen to all the time. And I have to be completely honest with you guys. He's a very tough love kind of guy, and he really likes to, do a lot of motivational stuff. But I don't really work that way. He's like, oh yeah, you got to wake up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. and you got to be hitting the ground running, and you just got to work hard. And it's not to say that you shouldn't relax or whatever, but you should work hard before you relax. You need to earn that relaxation time and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know, guys, I don't disagree with him in that sense, but I have to be completely honest, that really doesn't help me a whole lot. If anything, it makes me feel depressed because I never feel like I'm working hard enough. I never feel like I'm doing enough. I never feel like I've achieved enough. And yet, I'll take an hour-long break and, for lunch and whatnot, and I will, just enjoy my time and have a little me time and whatnot. But then afterwards, sometimes I just don't feel like I earned it. And I don't feel like I actually, I don't feel like I got enough stuff done to justify it. And of course I was feeling perfectly fine until I listened to my mentor, and then of course that happened. And I'm like, man, that kind of holds my feet to the fire in a way. But, I don't know. His type of motivation does not always work with me. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But one thing that you have to keep in mind, guys, if you're going down this path of becoming an entrepreneur, getting involved in trading, treating it like a business, or starting businesses and stuff, what you need to understand in every endeavor, regardless of how big or small you think it is, whether you're becoming a trader or whether you're just starting a business, whatever, regardless of what it is, guys, keep moving forward. Just keep taking those steps, one step at a time. And even if you have a day where you just don't feel like you got that much done, don't get depressed about it. That will only hurt your motivation in the long run. Trust me, I know. Don't feel sad or down because you're like, oh, well, I didn't really get as much done and everything's moving slow. I've had those days. And if I can be honest, don't let yourself feel that way. Okay? Because in reality, it takes time. So continue to move forward, but just know one step at a time, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with one step at a time. All right? Yeah, it might take you a little longer to get to where you want to go, but that's okay. In the end, as long as you're moving in the right direction, that's the main thing that you guys need to make sure that you're doing. Moving in the right direction. It's the movement that is the most important. It's the work that leads up to the achieving the end goal. That's the most important. If you focus on the end goal too much, then when you finally achieve the end goal, you'll be sitting there saying, now what? You won't know what to do with yourself because you finally achieved what you really wanted, which actually kind of happened to me the other day. I didn't actually achieve what I really wanted, but I kind of started to imagine what would my life be like if I actually was successful with what I wanted and I achieved everything. What would I do with myself? And it was kind of a scary thought process. It's kind of a scary thought. What the heck would I do? And in reality, the problem is here that I'm focused on the big goal. It's not bad to have those big goals, but once you have them, you need to not think about them. You need to think about the actionable goals that you can take each and every day, and you need to enjoy the process as much as possible. Sometimes the process is just not fun. I don't care how passionate you are about a subject. Doing the daily grind sucks no matter what you're doing. I love trading, but I hate all the work that goes into becoming a consistently profitable trader. I love the aspect of trading and trying to predict market movements. It's a lot of fun to me, and I have a lot of passion for it. But the grunt work, it just sucks. No one is going to say that this is fun. I mean, where you got to backtest, your trading strategy over and over and over. No matter what, guys, no matter what, it just isn't going to always be what you want it to be. And, it doesn't matter how much you enjoy something. The grind is always going to be the grind. And not everything is fun. So I always find that interesting when people say, do what you love, so it's never really work. It's like, yeah, I'm not that. I don't know. Maybe there are people out there that can legitimately do that. I'm not that kind of person. It doesn't matter how much I love it, how much I enjoy it. It's still work. There is always some kind of grunge work that is part of it, and it kind of sucks. But that's okay. That's just life, and you got to move forward. You got to keep doing it because, it's worth it in the end. So, all right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today. Hope you guys have a great weekend. I will see you next week. Remember, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to check out the website at newmillenniumwealth.com. Go ahead and sign up for that newsletter. Be the first to get informed of anything that I'm doing. And if you guys will do that for me, I'll see you in the next episode. Remember, know the risks, plan accordingly, and have a great day.